Record the session. Let me share my screen. Yes, Ritesh, can you please confirm now? Can you see my screen?
Yes, sir.
Okay, fine. Right, so database, right? In the databases, we'll have file groups and log files. File group is nothing but collection of data files, right? So what and all data files we have? We have two types of data files. One is MDF file, second one is NDF file. That's fine, right? So file group is a collection of data files, right? File group is a collection of data files. Every database will support 32,767 file groups, right? Yesterday we have discussed about it. 32,767 is a magic number in the SQL Server. SQL Server supports 32,767 databases. SQL Server supports 32,767 file groups, 32,767 files, 32,767 logins, 32,767 users. So SQL Server supports these many objects. So whenever if anyone is asking, okay, like how many means, you can say 32,767, but how many instances we can install, don't tell like 32,767. Okay, right? So 50 instances only we can install, right? So every database will support 32,767 file groups, right? So where I can see the file group exactly, if you go to any database properties, any database including system databases, if you go to any database properties, there you can see two pages. First page is general page, lot of pages will be there. First is general page, second page is files page. In the files page you can see data files and log files. Okay, if you want you can add the files. Okay, if you want you can add multiple files. How many files we can add? How many files we can add? We can add 32,767 files. Of course SQL Server supports 32,767 files, but again two files will come automatically, right? So 32,765 files we can add, right? Per group, remember that is per group. File group means file group, and these are the file space. If you go to file group space, you can see here what is the default file group in the SQL Server.
Primary file.
Primary file group. Okay, whenever you create a database, automatically this primary file group will come. Okay, no need to create this primary file group. That's why if you go here, this is my data file, and this data file is attached to the primary file group here. If you create any new data file or log file, you can create it. Data file or log file you can create by just clicking add button here. I want to create one more data file, sales F3, okay, or F2, file 2. Okay, so what kind of data file, what kind of file you want to create? Data file you want to create or log file you want to create? You can select here, data file or log file. What kind of file you want to create, you can select here. Okay, for example, if you want to create the file in the same file group, primary file group, you can select primary here. No, I don't want to create my file in the primary file group. I want to create a separate file group. You can simply create new file group and give the file group name. Automatically this file will be added into that particular file group. And of course we have discussed about all these things, right? In this way we can add the files. If you just click OK, no need to give any name here. Automatically it will take this name, sales f2.ndf will come here. Okay, let me click OK, then you can get better idea. Okay, just click OK. Then if you go to the properties of the sales database, again right click properties. Okay, you can see the third file, just go up. Okay, go to file space, then you can see this second file. Okay, it will come okay here like this in a serial order. Then if you see here, can anyone see f2.ndf? Remember one thing, only will have only one MDF file per database. Only we will have one MDF file per database. So my question is, can we create a database without .mdf or .ndf, okay, or .ldf? Can we create any database without .mdf or .ldf? Can we create
No.
any database?
No,
Okay,
no.
so that is okay, fine. The answer is no, right? We cannot create any database without .mdf or .ldf, right? Fine. Now let me create a database. Okay, let me create a database. So where I can see the physical files, if you go to the properties, okay, and if you go to the file space, files, just copy this path. Okay, in this location usually the files will be there. Run. Okay, right, or else you can open like this. Why run? Okay, you can just open a file explorer, and there from there also you can access it. Just open this folder. This is file explorer. Okay, this folder. Right. Okay, just put your cursor here, control V, control V. Okay, let me go and copy it again. Properties, files, copy this path, control C, use alt tab. Okay, alt tab, we cannot use shortcuts in the virtual machine. Right, control V, enter. Okay, so this is the physical location, sales file. See here, this is sales database MDF file, this is log file, and we have just now we have added a F2 file, sales F2 file, right? This is a physical file. Right. So my question is, can we create a database without .mdf or .ldf? Okay, .ndf we can create it. Why? Because .ndf is not compulsory. You can have one data file, one log file is fine. You should have one data file and one log file. But my question is, can we create any database without .mdf and .ldf? Right. So let me do one thing. Database, new database. I'm just simply creating what we can. Okay. I'm just creating fruits. Okay, this is my database name, right? Right. So if you see here, fruits database has been created. Okay. So let me check the data files and log files. Okay. Right click properties, go to files. Okay. And if you see here, you can see right fruits.ldf, fruits underscore log.ldf. Okay. Fine. So I just created a database without .mdf, right? So my statement is wrong. Fruits, yes. Okay, if you see here, you don't see any data file. See, both files are looking same, right? Both files are looking as log files, right? So why I can do that one? Why? As per my statement, I cannot create a database without .mdf or without .ldf. MDF and LDF should be there, right? But I'm able to create a database without .mdf. I just created with only .ldf. Both files are .ldf. Why we can do, how we can do that one? Okay, right? So that is the question, right? That is the question for the next class, very important. I'll ask everyone why I am able to create a database without .mdf. You can create a database without .ldf also, but again don't confuse. That is it. But again, I am valid to my statement. We cannot create a database without data file and without log file. We cannot create a database without data file and log file. Okay, and we can create a database with .mdf, with both files are .mdf or both files are .ldf. Okay, right? So assignment question for the next class: how can I create like that without .mdf or without .ldf? How I created a database? Okay, so that is the next question. That is the assignment for the next class. Everyone, I'll ask everyone, just try to concentrate on it, right? So if you see here, how can I access the files and file groups? Simply go to any database properties. There you can see file space, and there you can see file group space as well. There are, okay, by default there are two files, one is data file and log file, and by default there will be one file group. Okay, that is your primary file group. If you want to create any file groups, go to file group space, click on add button. Okay, see here, earlier only one file is there, MDF file. Now if you see here, two files are there. Okay, that means one MDF file and one NDF file, so total two files are there. If I want to create a file group, just click on add button here, FG1. Okay, file group 1, FG1, file group 1. As of now, this is new file group, right? So no files are there. And if you want, you can make this read only. And what is this default option? Can anyone tell me what is this default option? Default option means, remember one thing, I have two files in my primary file group, or else I have one file in my primary file group. Imagine I have one file in my primary file group and I have one more file in the FG1 file group. If you put default, first data will load in the default file group. Got it? First, the data will load in the default file group. Once the default file group is full, then only it will load in the next available file group. Say for example, if I just make this fg1 as a default file group, now the data will not be loaded that are there in the primary file group. Got it? Now the data will not be loaded that are there, the files that are there in the primary file group. In the primary file group, actually two files are there. One MDF file is there, one NDF file is there. But I did FG1 as a primary file group. Sorry, not primary file group, default file group. So what it will do, whenever you select a default file group, SQL Server will try to load the data, the files that are there in the default file group. Unfortunately, there is no files in the fg1 file group. Okay, if I click OK, let me see whether it is going to accept or it will throw the error. Why? Because you cannot change the properties of the empty file group. It is saying, okay, you cannot make this fg1 as a default file group. Okay, why? Because there are empty files. How can you make it as a default file group? Okay, the default file group means it will try to load the data in the default file group. Unfortunately, there is no files in the default file group, so I don't want to accept your settings and all. Please change your settings, it is saying. Okay, so you can select the files, or else what you can do is try to create one more file. Go to this file space. Okay, just try to create one more file. Add sales here, sales f3, f3. Okay, if you see here, this is a data file, and see I didn't selected any primary or fg1. Automatically fg1 is selected. Why? I just selected, okay, fg1 is a default file group. If you want, I can change it to primary or fg1, whatever I want I can change it. Okay, if you go to file groups now, see here one more file is added. Now it will accept the default file group. Okay, if I click OK, now it is going to accept file group to be added collection because it is already exist. It is saying file group is already existed. No problem, you can cancel it. Okay, automatically it will come. Right, cancel it. Just check now, just refresh it. Expand sales properties. Okay, go to your files, file group space. Right, if you see here, files, it took the file but it didn't take the, okay, f3 file. Okay, we have to add the file again. Like this we have to change it. Okay, so we can add files and file groups like this. Go to properties of the database. If you go to file space, there you can see all the data files and log files. If you want to add any file, you can select add button and you can click OK. And if you want to create a new file group, or if you want to add any new file group and all, go to file group space, click on add button. You can add file groups, and you can change the files from one file group to another file group by simply clicking this button. You can change it. Okay, right, you cannot change once the file is created. Okay, once the file is created, you cannot change it. While creating the new file only you can change the file group and all. Okay, right, fine. So it is going to work like that. So how many files we can add? We can add 32,767 files. How many file groups we can add? We can add 32,767 file groups, but again one primary file group will come default by default. So you can add 32,766 file groups. Okay, when we create a database, primary file group will come automatically. So we can create almost 32,766 file groups. Primary file group will contain data files and MDF files. What is this MDF file? Usually in the MDF file, MDF means master data file. In the MDF file, what it will store means all the metadata of the database is going to store in the MDF file. Remember, all the metadata of the database will be stored in the MDF file. So in some organization, there will be a recommendation. Don't create any tables, user tables in the MDF file. Why? Because usually in the MDF file, metadata will be stored. So if you just allocate a separate file for metadata, that database performance will be good. If you try to create a new tables in another file like NDF file, then that will be good. Okay, the performance will be improved. So that is the recommendation. It's not compulsory. You can create tables in the MDF file as well. Okay, but the recommendation in the organizations are, in the MDF file metadata will be stored. Metadata means what is the database name, how many objects are there in the database, what are the database object IDs, what are the other objects are there, what are their locations, what are their numbers, IDs, everything will be stored in the MDF file. So if you have, okay, a dedicated MDF file for the metadata, the metadata will be accessed very quickly, so the performance will be good. Okay, if you can store You can store the user databases, sorry, user tables in the MDF file, no issues. You can create the tables in the MDF file, but again, that is not recommended thing. You can create one more data file and you can create tables in that particular data file and all. That is the Microsoft recommendation. When data file is full, usually say for example here, if you see here, what is the size of this file? Okay, if you go here, mostly like 4 MB, right? This is my data file, employee data file. You can see here 3 MB, right? We just enable the auto growth option. So completely this 3 MB is completed, then auto growth is enabled. So it was increased automatically. Till what point it can increase? Till there is a free space in the drive. So till 9 GB it can increase. Once the free space is completed in the C drive, okay, once the free space is completed in the C drive, in such case, there is no chance of auto growth for this database, right? Why? Because completely it used the free space. It cannot grow beyond, right? There is no free space to grow, right? In such case, the data file will full. So usually if the data file is full, we are going to get data file full error. Okay, if the log file is full, we are going to get log file full error. Okay, the error numbers, for every error there is a number in the SQL server. Okay, data file full error, the error number is 1105 If the log file is full, you will get one more error, that is called 9002. If the log file is full, you will get 9002 error. If the data file is full, you will get 1105 error. Okay, if you have a chance, try to generate this error. Try to generate this error. Okay, how to generate means, don't think like you have to utilize all the free space. What you can do, simply go to any database. Okay, this is unlimited, right? Auto growth is unlimited, right? Simply make it limited, or else disable auto growth. If you disable the auto growth, it will not increase automatically, the file is not going to increase. Okay, don't create any extra data files and all. Just work with one data file. Disable the auto growth option. Then the file size is 4 MB only now. Once the 4 MB is full, it can't grow, right? Why? Because auto growth is disabled. So try to full this 4 MB. How to like how we can increase the data and all, just try to create a sample database, or else a small table. Just try to create a table. Try to insert lot of records in that. Say for example, if I want to insert number of records, okay, what I can do, no need to insert multiple times. Insert into emp employee values. Where is my employee database? Right, tables, employee table is there, right? How many records are there? Select top 1000 rows. What and all columns? Employee ID, employee name, salary, right? So what I'll do, say for example, I want to insert some records in the employee table. Employee, okay, let me select this database. Employee, right, insert into employee name, values, right? I'm going to give one comma something like Mahesh. Okay, Mahesh, comma something around 10 lakhs. Okay, right. Now if I want to run the same statement 1000 times, what I can do? I want to run same query for 1000 times, or I want to run same query for 10,000 times. My intention is try to full the data file. Whatever records you are going to insert, whether those are the duplicate records or else, I don't want, I don't have any issues. Okay, so now I want to run the same query for 1 lakh times, means go 1 lakh. How many times you want to run? Just mention that number here, go 1 lakh. Now this will be run for 1 lakh times, and 1 lakh records are going to be inserted here. See here, if you go and check here, as of now 8 records are there, right? Now this query is executing, it will take time. Okay, 1 lakh only, right? So yes, how many times you want to run the same query, simply just mention that many times here. Okay, here now it is running. What is the proof? See here, query is executing, you can see here. And if you see here, the time is increasing. And if you see here, executing the query, it is still executing the query. Once once it's completed that 1 lakh times, 1 lakh times, the same statement is going to be iterated. So then 1 lakh records are going to be, okay, inserted in that particular table. So try to insert as many as the records you can. Okay, and make this database, okay, auto growth is disabled. If you just put the auto growth is enabled, then it will try to use all the free space, and you cannot full that much data, 9 GB 10 GB of data. It is very difficult, it will take a lot of time. So what you can do is just disable the auto growth and try to like insert as many as records you can. Then you will get one error at least, data file full or log file full error, you are going to get it. Okay, just try once. If you have any issues, we can discuss, not an issue. Right, so we'll discuss about, so we have discussed about data files and log files, and about this file groups, right? We have discussed about files and file groups, right? Let me complete this one, implicit transactions and explicit transactions. Any issues, any doubts as of now? Is it clear? Any issues? Anil, Anthony, Madhavi.
Fine.
Okay. Yeah, Mani, Ritesh, Sivareddy. Sivareddy, is it clear? Saujanya? Okay, fine. So, right, we'll discuss about, see here, it ran successfully almost 1 minute 23 seconds it ran. Okay, if you go here, okay, right now if I run this query, how many records I'll get?
2008.
One,
So
how
1
many?
lakh and 8. Sorry, 1 lakh and 8.
1 lakh and 8. Are you sure?
Yes, sir.
Just check the command again.
Select top 1000. Okay, 1000 only.
Okay, so if you see here, top 1000 records only it is going to get. So maximum, if you run the same query, you will get only 1000 rows. Okay, so I want to get all the records, right? Now if I go and check here, select star from table name. Okay, now if you run this query, right, it will take time to read the data. 1 lakh queries it has to read, means almost 2 seconds. And if you see here, 1 lakh 8 rows. Okay, 1 lakh 8 rows are there. Okay, if you go down, you can check 1 lakh 8 rows, and again this is the proof. Okay, if you see here 1 lakh 8 rows, just try to expand this one. Okay, 1 lakh 8 rows you can see here, right? So like that, try to insert the data, and once you just started inserting, okay, your data file or log file is going to full. Okay, right? So, and show me the error, data file full 1105 or log file full 9002 error. Okay, try to get the error. Okay, fine. Right, so we'll discuss about the types of transactions. Transaction means what? This is one transaction, right? We did one transaction right now. This is one transaction. So what is the format of the transaction? So actually the transaction will look like this. Okay, any transaction, it will start with the begin tran. Any transaction, the query will start with begin tran. If you are doing insert, okay, something insert query, then finally commit will come. This is the format of the transaction. Begin tran, insert statement or update, delete, anything for everything you can have begin tran, commit. Begin tran, it is any transaction is going to start with begin tran, and it is going to end with commit. Begin tran means it is going to start the transaction, it is going to initiate the transaction. Commit means what? Commit means it will save the records permanently in the physical data file. Commit means it will save the data permanently in the data file. If you don't use commit, it will not save permanently, it will store in the log file only. So log file is a temporary storage area. Log file is a temporary storage area, whereas your data file is permanent storage area. Data file is a permanent storage area. In the data file, the data is going to be stored permanently. Even though you turn off your system, the data will be written to the disks. Once the data is written to the disks, the data is going to be stored permanently, right? But log file is not going to work like that. You can store the data only temporary basis. So if you commit, then only the data will be stored permanently, means the data will be moved to the data file. If you commit any transaction, then only the data will be moved to the data file permanently. Right, so we have two types of transactions. One is implicit transaction, and the second one is explicit transaction. Implicit transaction and explicit transaction. Implicit transaction means what? Implicit transaction means the transaction, right? This transaction usually we are going to call it as a implicit transaction, means the transaction which is having a begin tran and commit is called implicit transaction. Okay, explicit transaction means You have to see, for example, if you don't give, what is the default transaction? Implicit transaction. Here you don't give like begin tran and commit here. I didn't give any begin tran and commit here, but without begin tran and commit, the transaction is not going to work. But who gave this begin tran and commit? SQL server will internally, it will give begin tran and commit to this statement. Begin tran and commit to this statement. SQL server, who will give? SQL server will give automatically. If you don't give begin tran and commit, SQL server will give begin tran and commit automatically. Okay, if you don't give commit, remember, if you don't give commit, SQL server only will insert some inputs, that begin tran and commit will be okay given by the SQL server database engine. This transaction is called implicit transaction. So if you see a transaction like this is also an implicit transaction, or else if you see a transaction like this, only like this, okay, if you see a transaction only like this is also an implicit transaction. Why? Because if you give not an issue, you can give no issues. If you don't give, SQL server will give begin tran and commit. So usually these kind of transactions are okay implicit transactions. These kind of transactions are implicit transaction. If you don't give begin tran commit from your side, SQL server will give you begin tran commit. If you give also, no issues. Okay, this is called your begin tran and commit, and this is called implicit transactions. Implicit transactions are auto committed transaction. Implicit transactions are auto committed. Why? Because if you don't give also, automatically it will commit, right? Implicit transaction or auto committed transactions. SQL server will give this transaction to the SQL server will give that command, commit command to the transaction. So implicit transactions are auto committed transactions. Okay, we have one more transaction called explicit transaction. Explicit transaction means what? Simply you will give begin tran, but you will not give commit. If you don't give both, SQL server will give you both inputs, begin tran and commit. If you only give begin tran, that means you don't want to commit this transaction from your side. Intentionally, you don't want to commit this transaction. So if you simply give begin tran, SQL server will not give commit. If you simply give begin tran, SQL server will not give commit. If you don't give both begin tran and commit, SQL server will give both. But if you give only one begin tran, SQL server will not give commit. Why? Because you don't want to make the transaction as an implicit transaction or committed transaction. You want to make the transaction as uncommitted transaction. So if you don't give begin, if you don't give commit, SQL server will not add commit command. If you don't give begin tran and commit, SQL server will add both commands. Okay, that is implicit. If you are giving manually from your side, that is explicit transaction. If you are manually giving the implicit begin tran and commit explicitly, that is your explicit transaction. For implicit transaction, no need to give begin tran and commit. For explicit transactions, you have to mention begin tran and commit. Okay, and again, if you don't want to commit the transaction, you can simply give begin tran. Okay, and commit will not be given by the SQL Server database engine. So explicit transactions are uncommitted transactions. Implicit transactions are committed transactions, whereas explicit transactions are uncommitted transactions. Right? Fine. Uncommitted means, what is meant by uncommitted transaction? Uncommitted means the transactions are not going to commit, means the data is not going to return to the disk permanently, or the data is not going to copy to the data file permanently. It will be there in the log file only. Clear? Any issues, any doubts? So implicit transactions and explicit transactions. Implicit transactions, no need to give the starting and ending statements. SQL OS, who will take care of all these things? SQL OS, SQL operating system. Sometimes they will ask you in the interviews, what is meant by SQL OS? Who is managing the database engine activities? That is called SQL OS. SQL OS will manage all these activities. SQL OS itself will give these commands as below: begin, tran, and commit. We have okay explicit transactions. We have to explicitly give the begin, tran, and commit statements. We can roll back the explicit transactions, whereas we cannot roll back the implicit transactions. What is the meaning of rollback? Okay, you can easily understand in the log file architecture. We are going to discuss about the log file architecture in the coming days. then you can understand what is this rollback, roll forward, what is this redo and undo. Rollback means simply canceling, that's it. Rollback means simply canceling the transaction. Roll forward means simply redo. Okay, roll forward means redo the transaction. Roll backward means undo the transaction, that's it. When it will redo, when it will undo, I'll tell you in the log file architecture. Okay, when the transaction will be redo, when the transaction will be undo. Here it is saying explicit transactions you cannot, so we cannot roll back. We can roll back the explicit transaction. Why? Because they are not saving permanently, right? So we can cancel the explicit transactions, but whereas we cannot roll back the implicit transaction. Why? Because once the transaction is committed, you cannot cancel it. Implicit transactions are auto committed transactions, so it cannot be rolled back. Okay, whereas the explicit transactions are not auto committed transactions, so the data is not going to store permanently in the explicit transactions, so you can roll back the explicit transactions, whereas you cannot roll back the implicit transactions and all. Clear? Any issues, any doubts? Right, fine. So we'll discuss about here. Okay, in this diagram, okay, we'll go as per the hierarchy. We have discussed about file groups, log files. We have discussed data files. If you go inside the database, what will be data files? Sorry. If you go inside the data files, what will be there? Any data file, MDF file or NDF file. If you go inside the data file, what will be there? What will be there? If you go inside the data file, not database. If you go inside the data file, what will be there? Just you can see the diagram, right? There you can see.
MDF file and
Extend, sir.
Extends. Why
Extend.
MDF, NDF? NDF, NDF are data files, right? I'm asking inside the MDF and NDF. Okay, inside the MDF and NDF files, you will have extents. If you go inside the data file, you will have extents. Extents. If you go inside the extent, you will have pages. Very important, page. Page is a basic storage unit of a data file. Page is a basic storage unit of a data file. So you are creating tables, right? Finally, where they are storing, where your tables are storing, on a page. At the end of the day, each table will be stored on a page. Any table, you can say the tables are storing in a database. Okay, then they will ask you database where it is, where they are going to store in data files. Then they are going to ask you where in the data files. In extents, again they will ask you where in the extents. In the pages, finally each page will sit on a single page. Sorry, each table will sit on a single page. Page is a basic storage unit of a object, either a table or index or anything, any object. Okay, page is a basic storage unit of a data file. Okay, so here you can see here 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4 total 8 pages will be there. Collection of 8 continuous data pages is called an extent. Collection of 8 continuous data pages is called an extent. What is the extent definition? 8 continuous data pages is called an extent. Then I have a doubt. Okay, if I create any table, at the end of the day it is going to store on a page, right? Can I store multiple tables on a single page? Can I save or store multiple tables on a single page? The answer is no. Okay, the answer is no, you cannot store multiple tables on a single page. Only one page for a single table. If the table is big, it is going to take one more page. Means your table can use multiple pages to store. A single table can use multiple pages to store, but on a single page you cannot store multiple tables. Got it? Very important point. On a single table you cannot store multiple tables. Even the table is very small, very small, the complete page will be allocated to that particular table. Why? Because in the future it may increase. Don't know, right? Maybe just now I have created, earlier at the time of discussion I have created 8 records in the employee table. Now I have created 1 lakh records. Now what and all pages that are associated with the employee table, of course they cannot store all 1 lakh records in a single page, right? So what it will do, they will take one more database from the extent. Even though the second database is also full, they will take one more database, they will take one more page, like that. Whenever it has requirement, it will take the pages from the data file and it will consume those pages. So on a page you cannot store multiple tables, but a single table can be stored on a multiple pages. Got it, right? A single, let me write down, okay. Single table can be occupied multiple pages. Single object or table, single object can be occupied multiple pages, but a single page cannot be used for storing multiple tables. Don't confuse, okay. There is a big difference between these two statements. If your table is big, it is going to allocate more pages for the table. If your table is very small, again it is not going to store extra table in the same page. One table means minimum one page. If the table is big, pages are going to increase. But if the table is small, okay, in this page there is only a small table created, so I am going to create one more table in the page. No, you cannot create. First of all, you cannot create another table in the same page. Once the table is allocated on a page, that means that page will be locked. You cannot use that page to create another object. If you create new table, SQL Server OS, SQL OS will give you another page for that new table. Got it? The page size is 8 KB. Page size is 8 KB. The page size is 8 KB. KB means, you know, right? Kilobytes. Okay. So in the bytes, if you say calci 8000 into 8 KB, right? 8 into KB means 1024 bytes, right? So 8192 bytes. Each page size is 8192 bytes. Page size is 8 KB. 8 KB. So means in the bytes it will be 8192 bytes. Okay. So if your table is very small, less than 8 KB also, you cannot create one more table on a single page. Okay. One page will be allocated for one table, even though the table is very small. If the table is big, it is going to take one more page. If the table is very small, it is not going to create one more table in the same page. Clear? The page size is 8 KB. Remember, this page size is not going to change at all. Remember, the page size is not going to change at all in any version of the SQL Server. In any version of the SQL Server, the page size is 8 KB only. They will ask you, okay, in SQL Server 2019, what is the size of the page? 8 KB only. It is internal. It is not. This is an architecture of the SQL Server. Architecture will never change in any version. The features will be changed, but architecture will never change. Okay. As per the architecture, the page size is 8 KB only. You cannot resize the page. You cannot increase it to 16 KB or you cannot decrease to 4 KB. 8 KB is fixed as per the Microsoft architecture. The page